Hello and welcome to the weekly World Climate Change News. I'm Alexandra, and today we're going to speak about the following topics. European Union boosts climate targets. UK's ambitious climate target. Canada sets tougher emissions target. Climate summit. Food systems impact on climate change. Climate change's impact on lake ecosystems. Climate change education. So shall we begin? European Union boosts climate targets. A new law passed by the EU Parliament will cut carbon emissions by 55% by 2030 compared to 1990 levels. Meanwhile, the UK also announced plans to cut carbon emissions by 78% by 2035. The new law sets the limit on CO2 removal to ensure that states significantly cut their emissions rather than trying to offset them through forests, for example. The targets are part of the global efforts to adhere to the Paris Climate Deal 2016, which aims to keep global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius in order to mitigate climate change effects. The UK's ambitious climate target. UK aims to cut its carbon emissions by 78% by 2035, compared to its 1990 levels. This is according to the recent announcement by the British government. The new target is expected to be legally binding as of June 2021. This new ambitious target is regarded as a major step of the UK to reach its long-term climate change goals, such as limiting temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius and achieving net zero by 2050 in the country. Canada sets tougher emission targets. Canada aims to cut its carbon emissions by 36% by 2030, compared to its 2005 levels to tackle climate change, as announced by the government. This is a more ambitious target compared to the previously announced target of 30% emission cut. Moreover, the government plans to create as much green jobs as possible in the near future, in order to be able to fuel Green Growth Plan and achieve net zero by 2050. Climate Summit. On the virtual Leaders Climate Summit, the first of its kind, hosted by Joe Biden on 2021 Earth Day, the President of the United States of America committed to cutting down on emissions by half by the end of the decade and increasing funds to vulnerable countries to help them fight climate change. The USA seeks global leadership again in fighting against rising temperatures after re-entering the Paris Agreement last year. Food systems' impact on climate change. A recent study highlights that the food systems are responsible for a third of global greenhouse gas emissions. A 2019 report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change also reported a similar estimate regarding greenhouse gas emission contribution from food systems. The study found that fishing, aquaculture and agriculture produced around 40% of these greenhouse gas emissions. The food sector needs to have specific mitigation policies in order to tackle climate change. Climate change's impact on lake ecosystems. Climate change will increase the average seasonal lake stratification period in the Northern Hemisphere by 2 weeks to over a month. As the warm air hits the surface of the lake, it separates from the cold layer below. Stratification makes it difficult for the dissolved gases and particles to move between the layers. One of the impacts is deoxygenation of lower layers, because stratification prevents the oxygen at upper layers from sinking deeper, thus jeopardizing the lake life. Climate change education. Over 32 million teachers from all around the world have launched a worldwide campaign through Education International in order to raise awareness about climate change education on the Earth Day. The main goal of the movement is to make climate education as fundamental as teaching reading or writing. The aim is to implement policies with governments through collaborations accordingly. Achieving a high-quality climate education is regarded as one of the most powerful solutions to combat climate change. Thank you for watching. This was Alexandra for the weekly World Climate Change News. I hope you enjoyed this episode.